Hello, so this video is how to avoid the 3-year itch in your relationship. So, the newness of a relationship, we all know what it feels like. You just can't get enough. But then eventually the passion starts to wane, the novelty wears off, and things just aren't so effortless anymore. Feelings of undying love might fade a little. You might start to get antsy or take your partner for granted. Your partner's questionable hygiene habits may become completely intolerable. And it seems to be a lot more difficult to accept each other's more irritating points. Compliments become few and far between. Things might be okay, but they're not wonderful. It's incredibly common for couples to experience a decline in the quality of their relationship, or reach a critical sink or swim. Where do we go from here? Turning point. And it seems it's especially common to reach this brink about 3 years in. It's called the 3-year itch, a phenomenon where tensions rise and couples are forced to either part ways or adapt. Make it or break it. Take stock in their partnership and decide whether it's what they want or not. Basically, the honeymoon period is over, and it's time to really decide if you're going to be in it for the long haul, warts and all. So why 3 years? Dr. Helen Fisher, author of Why We Love, believes there's a natural breaking point in a relationship, and it often rears its head around the 4th year. So by the 3rd year, you're beginning to face a powerful breaking point when the wild infatuation is worn off. Research shows that initial intense passion lasts 1 to 3 years. When that starts to wear off, there may be a strong emotional attachment, but there may not be. I found through research across the world that if you are going to divorce, you tend to divorce around the 4th year of marriage. So what is it that happens at the 3-year point to create such havoc? So there's a couple theories. After a few years, couples have probably spent enough time together that the unfavorable habits and traits that were oh so easy to forgive in the honeymoon period eventually becomes a little, let's say, overbearing. So let's call them passion killers, really. Predictability and monotony might rear their ugly heads, forcing romance to take a backseat against the logistics of life, work, kids, study, stress, responsibilities, must-dos. We take for granted the fact that our partner is right there by our side through it all. You see, it's not necessarily about falling out of love. It's just that the passion, spontaneity, and mindfulness that was once on autopilot falls by the wayside, and your relationship becomes routine. So how to avoid it? Although there's plenty of research out there that tends to show the 3-year itch really does exist, it's by no means inevitable. Every relationship isn't destined for a reckoning on its 3-year anniversary, so don't expect it to happen to you, especially if you do the work to make sure it doesn't. Of course, the first step in avoiding the 3-year itch is choosing wisely. Just because your biological clock is ticking and your friends are all loved up doesn't mean you need to open your life up to someone simply for the sake of being in a relationship. So you want to be with the right person for the right reasons. Look for characteristics that will see you through the long term. Aligned values, shared interests and hobbies, a deep connection. The truth is, no relationship is perfect. No partner is perfect. We all have our own little idiosyncrasies that have the potential to irk our other halves. We just cannot change about ourselves. There are things we simply cannot change about ourselves. And often we don't need to change. We simply need to implement and be mindful of some important rituals and practice as a pair to ensure our relationship grows from strength to strength. It's undeniable that the couples who prioritize their relationship and put in the extra effort every day, no matter how long they've been together, have a better chance at thriving. So, as a couple, you may consider implementing some of the 4 following things to help avoid experiencing the 3-year itch. So the first thing that can help you is to love yourself. get so caught up in trying to make others happy or relying on them for happiness that we forget about the one person we need to love first, ourselves. Unless you love yourself, you cannot love someone else fully. So prioritize self-love. 2, communicate. It's all in the relationship self-help books. It seems like an obvious one, but communication really is the key to understanding each other and making it through this 3-year itch. 3, celebrate the good stuff. Your partner will never be flawless, and let's face it, neither will you. Which is why sometimes you need to simply surrender to the imperfect traits and habits and focus on the good things. Remind yourself why you are attracted to each other in the first place, and then tell them. Compliment each other daily. Show appreciation for all the big and small things. Tell them what you love about them every single day. Honoring the good things about your relationship will remind them and you of their abundance they bring to your life and help you to manifest even more of it. And then finally 4, keep it exciting. Novelty and spontaneity keep our attention. But it doesn't mean we need someone new every few years to experience that. It just takes a little creativity and a commitment to maintain an ongoing sense of newness. So, that is it for this. So if you do those 4 things and try to incorporate them into your relationship, then you will be able to get past the 3-year itch.